Dear students, in the yesterday spirit, we studied one of the demodulation technique that is used in AM receiver, and that is known as envelope detector, by using which one can recover the original information from the amplitude modulated wave arriving at the input of AM receiver, where we have studied that it makes use of a p-n junction diode along with the parallel combination of resistance and capacitor. By selecting the proper RC time constant, one can get the proper envelope at the output. So obtained output is proportional to the input modulating signal, as we are using the linear region of the p-n junction diode for the detection purpose. This is how one can recover the amplitude modulating signal from the amplitude modulated wave in the AM receiver. Friends, today we are going to study another type of the demodulation, and that is known as FM demodulation. That is the demodulation process used for frequency modulated wave. And the circuitry that is used to detect the FM modulated signal is known as the discriminator. Different types of the discriminator circuitries are used in practice. Foster-Seeley discriminator, a ratio detector, single slope method are the different aspects which are used to recover the original information from the FM modulated wave. And today, as your syllabus includes the ratio detector, we are going to discuss only the ratio detector circuit. To study details of the same of the FM modulation, we can say the FM modulation circuit used to obtain the modulating signal from the frequency modulated wave are known as the discriminators. Foster-Seeley detector and ratio detectors are two commonly used discriminator circuitry for detecting the FM modulated wave. We are going to study the ratio detector. The ratio detector circuit is as shown in this particular figure. The ratio detector circuit consists of, or it makes use of, inductively coupled circuit where the amplitude modulated signal is given or coupled inductively to the ratio detector circuit for the purpose of detection. That includes the two coils L1 and L2, which is tapped by means of a capacitor, so that the coupling of amplitude modulated wave to the discriminator circuit is being done. Basically, it makes use of the two diodes D1 and D2, whose polarities are opposite with each other. It makes use of the combination of resistance R1 and R2 and also capacitor C3 and C4 at their respective junction, we are going to obtain the demodulated output. At the output, across the resistance R, where we are going to obtain the demodulated output as a VO, the high value of capacitor C is connected in parallel to the same circuit. This entire circuit is divided into the two halves. One is the upper half and another one is the lower half. The combination of R1C3, R2C4 are going to act as the RC filter, where conversion of the high frequency into low frequency that takes place. So that forms the ratio detector discriminator circuitry. This circuitry is almost all same as that of Foster-Seeley detector, only the difference that the polarity of D1 and D2. In Foster-Seeley detector, the polarity of D1 and D2 are same, but in case of a ratio detector, the polarity of D1 and D2 are connected in opposite with each other. So that is what the construction of FM discriminator circuit to be referred as the ratio detector. This circuit works depends upon the modulating frequency provided to the input in comparison with the center frequency or with the carrier frequency. Depending upon those aspects, whether modulated frequency is equal to center frequency or carrier frequency, or whether it is greater or less than the center frequency or carrier frequency, the working of this circuit is totally depends. To study details with the description, we can say the ratio detector circuit and Foster-Seeley discriminators are same as we already studied, but polarity of the diode and diode D1 and D2 are reversed, are opposite to each other. The diode detector circuits is formed by D1 R1 C3. So this is the upper half, D1 R1 C3. R1 C3 is the RC filter, and another half is D2 R2 and C4 in two halves. One is formed by D1 R1 C3, another will be formed by D2 R2 and C4. FM modulated signal is inductively coupled by L1 and L2, means these two coils which are used for the coupling the modulated signal with the ratio detector with capacitive coupling CP. So this is the capacitor coupling that is being used. Here voltage across D1 and D2 are adhesive. Large value of capacitor C is connected at the output across the combination of R, means this is the capacitor which is connected in combination with R. This capacitor charges to the voltage V equal to V1 plus V2. V1 plus V2 means voltage across R1 and voltage across R2 are respectively called as V1 and V2. Here V is V1 plus V2 upon 2. This voltage is fixed due to large value of C giving the large time constant. Now let me apply the conditions. When signal frequency FM equals to carrier frequency FC, means when F in is equal to FC, input circuit provides equal potential to D1 and D2. When F in is equal to FC, then potential across D1 and potential across D2 are equal. As C3 is equal to C4 and R1 is equal to R2, then V1 is equal to V2 and both are additive in opposite direction, and that's why the output is 0. This is true provided when input modulating frequency is equal to the carrier frequency. But if suppose signal frequency FM becomes greater than the carrier frequency, then diode D1 will start conducting the current to develop the VD1 across it, which is more than that of VD2. Thus, V1 increases to V1 plus delta V and V2 decreases by V2 minus delta V. This is true provided FM is greater than FC. The voltage at junction of R1 and R2 is given as V1 plus delta V plus V2 minus delta V. Delta V will cancel and we will get V1 plus V2 upon 2 and it is constant. Therefore, output voltage developed is given as V1 plus V2 upon 2 minus V1 plus delta V, and this comes to be minus delta V. Let me call it as equation number 1. If the signal frequency FM is smaller than the carrier frequency FC, then VD2 increases than that of VD1. Thus, V1 decreases to V1 minus delta V and V2 increases by V2 plus delta V. The voltage at junction of R1 and R2 is again same, that is V1 plus delta V plus V2 minus delta V upon 2. Again delta V will cancels and it is V1 plus V2 upon 2. Again it is constant. But output voltage VO becomes equal to V1 plus V2 upon 2 minus into bracket V1 plus delta V. If we solve this, we will get it as a plus delta V. From equation number 1, 2, we can say for FM equal to FC, output is 0. For FM greater than FC, output equal to minus delta V. For FM less than FC, output equal to plus delta V. Thus, output varies between plus delta V to minus delta V as the input modulating frequency changes more or less than that of the carrier frequency. Thus, we can say from equation 1 and equation 2, output voltage follows a deviation in frequency of the signal. The ratio detector has a limiting action due to large capacitor at the output. Thus, output remains free from the rapid fluctuations of the amplitude in the signal and converts the frequency changes into the amplitude changes. Means in frequency modulation, frequency of the high frequency carrier may be changed. So that is here converted into the amplitude variations. Thus, one can recover the original modulating signal from the frequency modulated wave, and this process is known as FM demodulation. Friends, that's all about the frequency demodulation. Now we'll proceed to deal with the technique used in multiplexing. Friends, we studied multiplexing is the process, or we are aware with the process of multiplexer, which was studied in BS1 in the digital electronics, and that is many signals are passed through the same channel by using the different control signals, and same aspect is used in the field of electronic communication to transmit and receive the signals. From the point of view of electronic communication, we can say multiplexing is the process of sending number of separate signals together through a same cable simultaneously without interference. Means different channels have got different transmitting frequency. All those different channels are passed through the same cable without interfering with each other. And basically, this process of sending the number of separate signals through the same cable without interfering with each other is known as the multiplexing. There are two types of the multiplexing, the signals. One is a frequency division multiplexing and second one is a time division multiplexing. And today we will cover the frequency division multiplexing. Frequency division multiplexing is the process of separating the signal in frequency band is known as frequency division multiplexing. That means it is a process of sending the separate signals through the same frequency bandwidth. Means within allotted frequency bandwidth, all the separate signals are transmitted. Within the given bandwidth, some space is allotted for almost all the channel frequency signals, and then those are transmitted from transmitter toward the receivers. This process we can call it as it is a frequency division multiplexing. Frequency division multiplexing is related with combining the continuous signals. It is required to send the large number of independent channels from one point to the other. Means almost all different frequency channels are passed through the same frequency bandwidth. Here, low frequency track signals are passed through the low pass filter. That means the technique used in FDM is basically represented in this particular figure, that makes use of low pass filter in the transmitting end, modulator and also the band pass filter for different channel frequencies. These are modulating signals are supplied with the carrier for the purpose of modulation. Depends upon coding aspect. Out of many input channel frequencies at a time, one is passed through the common channel, and for the same that is received only for that particular respective channel at the receiving end. And the receiving end comprises the band pass filter, demodulator and also the low pass filter. Here for demodulator also the carrier signal is provided for the purpose of demodulation or bifurcation. So for each and every channel, the message input means the modulating signal to be transmitted is passed through the low pass filter, modulator and band pass filter. When it is arrived to the common channel, if suppose the message from channel number 1 is to be passed, it passes through the common channel and it is given only for the channel number 1 via band pass filter, demodulator and low pass filter. Means when message from channel number 1 is given to the common channel, it is received only by means of an channel number 1. And this process is going to follow continuously. As the being channel is same, all the signals are transmitted through the same frequency band and those are received in the same frequency band which is maintained for the respective transmitter and receiver purpose. And this process is going to be repeated for the number of message information to be communicated from the transmitting end towards the receiving end. So same we have described here. Look at here. The transmitter begins from low frequency track signals are passed through the low pass filter where we are represented. It removes the high frequency component that do not contribute significantly in the signal but disturb other signals in the same channel. So that's why low pass filter is used. The filtered signal is modulated in the modulator with the carrier wave provided to the modulator that produces the single sideband with the original band width of frequency 4 kHz. The bandwidth is restricted by bandpass filter combined in parallel and given to the common channel. Means this describes the transmitting end. So that is low pass filter, modulator and bandpass, and output is given for the common channel. Same is true for rest of the signals. At the receiving end begins with the bandpass filter connected to the common channel, separates the signal depending upon frequency basis and given to the demodulator to detect it. It is then passed to the low pass filter to produce the original signal without any noise. This is how separate signals are transmitted through the same frequency band through the common channel, and that is the reason why this technique of transmitting the signal through the same bandwidth, almost all the channel frequencies are to be communicated and also received, and that technique we can call it as it is frequency multiplexing technique, frequency division multiplexing we can call it as. So that's all about the frequency division multiplexing, with which we can send large number of channel through the same cable up to the receiver. That's all about the today's lecture, where we have studied one of the type of frequency demodulation by using the ratio detector and one of the multiplexing technique known as frequency division multiplexing. The rest will see it in the next period.